What is up? What is up? And welcome back. Another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt. As always, we've got some MMA to talk, some beer to drink. With me for every UFC card, main card breakdown, I got Cody. We're breaking down UFC 317. International Fight Week is here. Tapuria moving up to challenge Charles Oliveira for the 155-pound title. And then we also have Alejandro Pantoja. He's defending his belt against power puncher Kai Kara France on an absolutely stacked card. We look at the main card, it's stacked. We got Joshua Van moving up to face number one contender Brandon Royval. We've got Jack Hermanson, Gregory Rodriguez. We've got Benil Dariush versus Money Moicano. We've got, what else we got, Cody? We've got Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Card stacked. I can't wait for this thing. And
Got some great prelims too.
yeah, it's the prelims are absolutely stacked. Hyder Emil's back on the card, and we love to see Hyder on the card. So, yeah, how the hell is everyone doing? Make sure you smash the like button if you're just joining. We've got a lot to break down today, Cody. You know how we do these main card breakdowns, these UFC pay-per-view previews, if you will. We like to go over the main card. We start with the main event and we work our way down. We got some questions, some talking points to go over. Then after we'll go ahead, give you our best bets, and we have some other talking points, fight announcements, this, that, and the other, and it's a Q&A, so make sure you drop in anything you got for us because we'll get to it on our march to 250 subscribers at 239. We've really pushed forward these past couple weeks, so it's been great. But Cody, how the hell are you doing? We got a great fight card ahead of us. I am getting more pumped as the days go by. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm just hot. I'm hot like the rest of the
Hold
country
up.
right now, dude. Just sweating my freaking life away. But other than that, man, excited for another pay-per-view week. Especially not just a pay-per-view week. We got 317 International Fight Week, baby. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, and this card is absolutely stacked. So, it was just like last year. We didn't really know what was going to come of UFC International Fight Week until just about a month or so before, with Pereira taking on taking on Jamal Hill at that time, and then this year we had to wait on Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena to conclude to figure out exactly where we're at. So now we have we have the card. It's laid out. It's absolutely stacked. We did lose a great fight with Roman Kopilov and Paulo Costa. Costa pulls out of everything, so that's just not a surprise at all. Cody, you sipping on anything today? You doing Pepsi on a pay-per-view?
Pepsi on a pay-per-view, man. Got home late. Couldn't really get ready to dive into any beers tonight.
It's a damn shame. And but yeah, we have an absolutely stacked fight card for you. Two title fights. It's a 12 fight card. UFC's really been moving towards this 12 fight model lately. They were pushing 14, 15 fight cards for a while, and they were dragging on, especially this year with how fight cards have been going. Could you imagine a 14, 15 fight card lately? It'd be terrible. But they give us a 12 fight card, perfect for a pay per view. And it, like I said, it's absolutely stacked. The matchmaking, it's perfect. I love it. We've got contender up and comer versus up and comer, contender versus contender, up and comer versus contender, champion versus challenger. It's just everything you could want in a fight card as far as matchmaking goes. It's there. Now, you might not have gotten the Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying anybody watching. You might not have gotten the matchup you wanted with Topuria and Oliveira, or Topuria and Islam, but Topuria and Oliveira fucking bangs. That fight bangs, dude. And we'll get into that in a second. But first, with it being a 12 fight card, you smashed it last week. You said you're thinking 2 or 3 finishes. There were 2 finishes on the card. So 12 fights on this card. Over under, I'm giving you 5.5 finishes. We're shooting low until we get something nice. Are we going over? Are we having a fun night?
I think we're gonna have another. It's not gonna be a lot of finishes, but it's gonna be a hell of a night. It's going to be a lot of exciting, tough chins in this weekend's event. I've got it right at 5, brother. I had it at 6. I was sitting here like maybe a half hour before the show, like, you know what? I'm going to go over this week. Then I'm starting to revisit, and I'm like, dude, a lot of these fighters can go the distance in these 3 round fights, man. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I think you're gonna see a lot of tough chins this weekend, man. I think we're gonna see a lot of things go the distance here, and I think we might. Excuse me. I think we're gonna see 5 finishes.
Okay.
I think you have a perfect line. If you wanted to go through them, we could after you said yours. But for me personally, I think it's gonna be like right at the line you made 5.
So I'm optimistic this week. I'm actually looking at 7 or 8. So
Okay.
we got Christopher Ewer. He's making his UFC debut against Jackson McVeigh, both undefeated. Jackson McVeigh has never seen the second round. He's also
Oh,
making
we're
his
going
UFC.
early prelims with that too. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the first one. Jacoby Smith, 10-0, absolute dog, taking on Nico Price. Nico Price, kill or be killed kind of fighter. That's a finish. Janata Denise, Alvin Hines, heavyweights. I love the overs in heavyweights, so I'm not going to guess that one. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borishev. Terrence McKinney does not go to decision. I don't know if he's ever been to decision. So we got 3 right there. Then we go to Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado, Tracy Cortez versus Vivian Araujo. I could see both those being decision. Jack Hermanson,
Hmm.
Gregory Rodriguez. I'm going finish there. Gregory Rodriguez smacks hard as hell. Jack Hermanson's got tricky submissions. It could go either way, and Hermanson can drown you and get you out of there. Then we go to the main card. Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima. A lot of people are picking the over in this. I like the under. I think Lima's going to get him out of there. I think Lima's a lot more dynamic than Howney Barcelos, and I think he's going to be able to take him down. I'm not going to get into my whole fight breakdown there yet, but then Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Both guys kill or be killed. That's a finish. Joshua Van, Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval's kill or be killed. Joshua Van's first step up. He just fought a month ago. Could be a decision. I like the finish there.
Only 3 rounds.
I like
That's the only thing. If it
I
was 5 rounds, I think that'd be a finish. But
Yeah,
if
but
it's 3 rounds,
I still like the finish. Kai Kara France versus Pantoja. Pantoja will drown you. He'll body shot you. He'll just run you over. Kai Kara France, he's got the power. So I think either of those guys have a finish chance there. And then we go to the main event. Ilya versus Charles. Both of those guys are finishers. They're not going to decision. So I'm going 8.
that's my
I'm
fifth.
going way over the line. So that's goodness gracious. That's where I'm at with it, though. So you say under, you say right at 5. I'm saying 8, so I'm way over on it. But when we talk about how many finishes, we talk about the entire card in its totality. So that brings us to our sleeper fight of the night on the prelims. What's your sleeper fight? I have several that I could pick from. So whatever you pick, I'll pick from the handful that I have under that. But it's all from the prelims. So what's the sleeper fight you have for us?
I mean, the obvious sleeper fight's the Terrence McKinney fight.
Yeah.
But for me personally, though, I think the Hyder Emil Jose Delgado fight's got to be the sleeper, though. Undefeated versus 9-1. Two heavy strikers. Seasoned vet versus a young up and comer at 27. I think you're going to see a lot of iron striking iron in this fight. For me personally, dude, I think either one could come out on top, dude. I think we're going to see the undefeated fighter continue his reign and go 12-0 here.
Listen,
But
man, Hyder Emil.
at dude, underdog too. That's the weird part
And he's
too.
been
It's
the
like,
underdog all year. I've been picking him. He was the underdog against William Gomi. He was the underdog in the fight before that. I forget who it was against. But he's been about a plus 140, plus 130 dog in every fight. And that's what he is here. He's undefeated. Yeah, he gets hit a lot, and Jose Delgado cracks. But Hyder Emil just walks forward. It seems like the shots just don't affect him. So gets a decision over William Gomi. TKO over, who's this Lee feller? Young Lee. And then Fernando Garcia, and then Contender Series. But he's knocking guys out. William Gomi's a tough guy to touch, and to get a decision win over him, that's impressive. Hard to knock him out. Hard to beat
and
him.
Delgado's fighting Connor Matthews, Ernie Juarez, Lucas Fiera, Alberto Romo in LFA and UFL.
Yeah. So,
And
I
then
mean, he's been
he's fighting
knocking
in
dudes
Tough
out.
Enough. What
Yeah.
is Tough Enough?
Tough Enough's a feeder league to the UFC. It's on Fight Pass. It's pretty legit.
Cage,
Diego Brandao.
Cage Warriors,
Yep.
UFL 1, Freedom
So
Night.
he's been to legit promotions, but it's just on this level, I don't know if he's dealt with a guy with the durability of Hyder Emil. So I think Hyder's my dog pick of the week. I love Hyder Emil, and I think that odds makers might have that one wrong. But Hyder Emil, undefeated fighter. Oh well, I'll give you another sleeper fight since you took mine. My other sleeper fight is going to be, you said McKinney Borishev. That's an obvious one. Is it a sleeper? Yeah, because it's opening the prelims, not the early prelims, but opening the prelims. But sleeper fight is the prelim closer. Jack Hermanson versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. RoboCop bangs. Dude hits hard as hell, walks you forward. He's a great grappler. Both dudes are great grapplers, but he runs out of gas. And Jack Hermanson gets on that bike, moves, wears you out, and then beats you up late in fights. It's a 3-rounder, so how's it going to turn out? Is RoboCop going to get him out early? Is he going to bounce back from that Cannonier loss? We'll have to see, but it's going to be a fucking scrap. I think it's going to be a fun, messy fight. There's going to be a lot of scrambling, a lot of back and forth exchanges, both guys getting cracked. You're going to see like a 1-2 from RoboCop, then a 2 or 3 punch combo from Jack, back and forth the whole fight. I love that fight as well. So the prelims are just stacked, though. Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez could be a fun one. Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. If Nico Price puts up any fight at all, Jacoby Smith's never been truly challenged. That'll be fun, but Jacoby Smith is so athletic. Dude hits hard as hell. He's a great wrestler. Minus 4,000 favorite right now.
For
Jacoby Smith.
Dude, it'd just be fun to throw $5 on Nico Price.
Dude,
just say like, hey.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, I might put 50 on him just to boost it.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like, fuck. $5 wins you 500.
Yeah, so I don't know. Have to wait and see on that. But
Or 50. Jeez, at least 5 would win you 50.
Yeah,
50 would win you 500. 550 would win you 500.
Yeah, 50 would get you because he's a plus 1,100, so 50 would
Yeah,
get you
55,
550 profit. Hell yeah,
Yep.
that'd be a nice little bet. But
That's a dub.
yeah, but I'm not making that bet. What I am wondering about though, we're talking Jacoby Smith, we're talking Hyder Emil, we're talking undefeated fighters. There's 5 on this card. There's 1 guaranteed to lose because we got 2 going head to head in the curtain jerker of the prelims. But at the end of the day, 2 in the morning, Sunday morning, fight card ends. Ilia Topuria is the last undefeated fighter to fight. I don't want you to tell me who's going to lose or what they're, but I do want to know what's the undefeated fighters' records out of the 5. Guaranteed 1 loss, but how many of them walk away with wins? How many go home with without that O?
Realistically, 4-1. But I want to say 3-2, 2-3.
Yeah.
Because you got the guaranteed loss.
Guaranteed loss, guaranteed win. So that's 1-1. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Alvin Hines loses.
Yeah. I think Alvin Hines loses. That's 2.
Smith wins. You got Hyder Emil. You think he's gonna win? I do too. And then but you say the rest of them.
Maybe, but 4-1 is the realistic one, but could be.
I think it's gonna be 3-2 because I think Alvin Hines is gonna lose.
3-2.
I'd like to see 2-3 though. Love to see 2-3.
2-3, yeah. Me too, but I don't know. I'm gonna look into this Alvin Hines fight. To be honest with you, I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, there's not much to look into.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any stats.
Well, he's a UFC newcomer, and it's based off of leagues associated with UFC that Stat keeps. So if he hasn't fought for like a Fight Pass promotion, then or a PFL
LFA,
or
Ignite, and then LFA, LFLE, LFA.
Yeah, so.
But he's fighting recently. He's got 3 fights already this year. So I mean, he's active.
Yeah.
TKO, submission, TKO, and Yanada. I don't really know what he's really looking like right now.
So
he's coming off a loss.
Yeah, he fought Marcin Tibera. It was a rough, pretty bad fight, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's right. He had the doctor stoppage, and that was right.
Yep.
But I mean, who fight? Lane, Carl Williams, not very good. Austin Lane, eh. Eduardo Neves, eh.
Yeah, I mean, he
Rodrigo
doesn't have a
Duarte,
strength of schedule, so I think he's going to
no.
lose. But
I honestly, that would be bad money. Two plus 260. Throw on money on Alvin Hines. That's not good. That's not bad either.
yeah, I don't trust either fighter. I don't know enough about Alvin Hines. I like you. I didn't go back and watch the tape on him. But Janata Deniz, I do remember the Marcin Tibera fight. Wasn't super impressed. I remember I was so pumped when he was booked to fight Derek Lewis, and it was he was a huge favorite, and I was like, oh, buddy, money in the bank. Like give me that. But it fell through. Whatever. But he gets Alvin Hines here, so we'll see what happens. But we're going to roll right into our main card. Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria. Charles Oliveira right now plus 360, minus 525 for Topuria. And crazy odds, crazy numbers we're seeing there. But Charles Oliveira, former champ, Ilia Topuria, champ at featherweight, just vacated his belt to move up to 155 to challenge for this belt. Everybody's talking about Ilia's offense, how dangerous his striking is, all this. He's finishing guys. He's finishing all our favorites. Is everybody overlooking Charles with the size advantage that he has, the 5-inch reach advantage that he has? He's a former champion. He's also got extremely dangerous offense. He's always walking you down. Plus 360 is a huge number for Charles Oliveira for a former champ that's still in his prime. Is he being overlooked here in this matchup, Cody?
Yes. I definitely think people are overlooking Charles. Every fighter, no matter what, like we were just talking, even in the Nico fight, I think he's got the fighter's chance, at plus 1100, everybody's got a fighter's chance. Um, and especially with the talent that Oliveira has, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, with the odds that they're giving Ilya, I mean, at minus 500, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful at that kind of much of a favorite. I feel like, yeah, he's the favorite because he's the four-time defending champ of that belt.
Oh
But I
no,
think
no. He only had one defense.
one, I'm sorry, Pantoja is. I'm sorry, I got my champ switched up right now. My bad. No, he's only held but coming off, he's fighting a former champion himself. Um, like you said, with the reach advantage and the height advantage of Oliveira, I feel like if anything, Taporia should have maybe a 280 favorite odds or a max 340. I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to Oliveira, especially when he's coming off of a win. Even though he's 3-2 in his last five, I still think that he has definitely more than a chance to win this fight.
Yeah, I'm absolutely there with you. I think he's definitely being overlooked. And I'd be lying if I said I'm not a Charles Oliveira stan. Got us through COVID. The guy was just absolutely electric. His fights with Chandler, with with Poirier, with Gaethje, electric. The dude's fun as hell. And then before that, he took on the Tony Fergusons, the Kevin Lees. He's taken on Beneil Dariush. His fight with Arman Sarukian, while it was a loss, super close, could have gone either way. I thought it went to Charles, but like I said, huge Charles stan. But I do think he's being overlooked here because when you look at what Ilya did when he fought at 155 against Jai Herbert, who Jai Herbert's a good striker, no slouch, but he's no Charles Oliveira. He's not that level of ability. He can't hurt you and jump on you on the ground and finish you. He can't do it all. But he was able to hurt Ilia Topuria with a head kick, wobbled him, had him bad, but he didn't have the ground game to do anything about it, to push him down, try to take the back when he's wobbled, when he's dazed. Instead, he just had to keep punching. Topuria survived, and Topuria ends up knocking him out. Charles Oliveira has a very similar build to Ilia Topuria. And Ilia Topuria, while his defense is great, he has great shoulder rolls. He keeps it very tight, his hands to his ears. He can defend any boxing move or any boxing strike because he touches the elbow to the hip. It's a great move. It's the Tyson style, and it's great because it also allows for short, compact hooks, strikes that catch you when you're on the inside. That's all going to be a problem for Charles. But with all that, when you're doing this with the hands on the ears, the high kick is there. The head kick, it rolls right over the hands, straight on the temple, straight on the side of the head, wobbles you, and he does not defend head kicks well. Now, the guys that he fought last, that he finished, that we all love, the Volkanovskis, the Max Holloways, Neither of those guys can throw head kicks. I mean, Volkanovski can, Holloway can, but they don't. And Volkanovski's shorter stature, so he's not getting it up there as fast. Oliveira can do that. Oliveira has a variety of kicks where he's throwing it up the middle, keeping you at range, where he's throwing head kicks, where he's throwing jumping knees. He's just always coming forward. And while a lot of people look at that as the benefit for Topuria, who's going to be able to throw hooks as he's coming forward, throw the straight as he's coming forward, I look at it as Topuria has not been pressured by anybody the way that Charles Oliveira is going to pressure you. Charles Oliveira is not going to get on his bike and run away from you. He's going to walk you forward. You might drop him. Is Ilya going to jump into his guard? Everybody talks about how great Ilya's ground game is. Yes, he did great with Bryce Mitchell, but how do you do with a guy like Charles Oliveira, the most dangerous finisher in UFC history, most finishes, most submissions in UFC history? The guy's an absolute wizard on the ground, dangerous on the feet. It's just we're not talking enough about Charles striking. And this is nothing to diminish what Ilia Topuria has been able to do. His striking is phenomenal. You look at how he's hit mitts. You look at his physique as he moves up to 155. The guy looks insane, but his striking is unbelievable. We've seen his ground game with Bryce Mitchell, but Bryce did have the flu for that fight. So how much does that tell us? Was he weaker? I don't know. But I do favor Ilya in this, I think. But Charles is my dog. I got to ride with my dog. So I'm picking Charles because I think he's just getting it done. Every time I'm like, him and Alex Pereira, I'm like, I just don't know, man. This might be the one. They're my guys, but I just don't know. They get it done. He's getting it done for me. I'm not betting against my dogs ever. We're going with Charles Oliveira. How you see this going down, Cody?
I respect it. I respect it. The only thing is, I kind of want to go with Charles, dude. I really, really do. He's the people's favorite in this. He's the absolute beast. Like you said, he's a BJJ just freaking warrior out there. I mean, he's a nightmare. But the problem is why he couldn't get him to the ground last time is because Ilya does have a 92% takedown defense, man. He does have a really good core and really good legs. Just hold his own and have great balance in case he does want to try and take your leg and then try and rip you down. He can run with you and hop with you if he needs to, man. He's really good. And then also his defense rate, like you said, but he's also got great hands, defending 64% of his strikes, man. He's a Swiss Army knife, man. He's a five-edged tool. He could strike with you at precision, dude. If he wants to take you to the ground, he can. It's not his favorite thing to do. He averages 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is pretty solid, honestly. It's pretty average. But I mean, he's just really, really hard to control. He's been dominant, especially in his last fight against Holloway. I mean, he was just absolutely just dominating him. I want to go with Charles in this one. I really, really do, because Charles walked out there and just dominated Chandler in his last fight. Just completely dog walking him, showing like, okay, you know what, I'm back. I got my mojo here. You know, I'm ready. I'm showing my length. I'm just still the fucking man.
Hey, the
but
champ has a name, and it's Charles Oliveira.
I
That's
want
his
to.
line. That's his line.
I want Oliveira to be the champ. But for sakes, I'm gonna pick Ilya because I feel like at the end of the day, I think he's just gonna walk away with this one. Maybe by decision. I feel like both these guys are seasoned enough because you'll see later. But I don't know, man. I really don't. I see this going one way, and it's gonna be Ilya.
Yeah, and I could see it. Charles gets hit a lot, and I'll be sad if it happens, but I won't be shocked. It's just Charles is consistently doubted against these guys. Even when he comes in as the favorite, all the experts are always picking against him. And I think a lot of people are really overlooking the size difference here. They have Ilya listed as 5'7". That guy ain't 5'7". He's like 5'6", 5'5". Short guy. That's fine. Oliveira is huge. He might be taller than 5'10". Huge for the division though. 74-inch reach. Yeah, he's 35, but he's still fighting like a dog. He's shown no signs of aging. And there's something in the water down there. They get dropped by these devastating strikers like the Poiriers, like the Gaethjes, and he just gets up, walks right forward, and finishes you. I could see him showing Ilya a level of opposition he's never faced before. While he's been rocked in fights, I don't think he's been able to catch somebody and they get right back up. catch somebody and they keep moving forward. And for some reason, Charles Oliveira can keep doing it, and I'm not going to doubt him in this fight. Like I said, Ilya, all the tools, everything says he should win. But are we looking past? Are we looking past the size difference? Are we looking past the experience difference? Are we looking past everything that Charles brings to the table? That's just all I'm wondering about this fight. But we both are kind of on the same page. We want Charles. We're kind of leaning Ilya, which makes sense. But little spoiler, I got a bet on Chucky O. And that leads us to our next talking point, though. If Ilya wins, and we'll say Islam fights JDM, Islam wins 170. Ilya's already talking about moving up to 170. Do you give him that fight next for legacy, or do you make him keep defending the 155-pound belt? Because he's already small for 145, small for 155. Now he's going to be super small for 170. I mean, do you give him that fight, or do you make him keep defending?
I I think yes. If he wins, you give him that fight. You got to give him the opportunity. Because then if he gives up the champion, if he gives up the belt, he can always come back down and win it. I mean, he's proven that he can win it. I mean, there's that's if he wins this fight with Charles, though. That's the thing. Because to become a double champ, that's kind of what puts you in the upper echelon of GOAT status in today's era, I guess, of UFC fighters. And double champ is kind of like what's seen now as
But that
because
would be
Connor was
that would be triple champ at that point,
Ilya. Yeah, he would be triple champ. He'd be the first, right?
unless Pereira
Oh,
does it at
Pereira does it
heavyweight.
before him. Yeah. And that would put him at. Would that put him at Mount Rushmore status?
It's weird. It's weird because you look at the resume and you're like, the guys he's beat, yes, like what he's done, yes, but longevity, no. It's kind of the Khabib argument, but Khabib doesn't have the resume that Ilya has at this point. And if
No.
Ilya takes out Charles and he takes out Islam, I think you have to put him at GOAT status, even if it's just a 4 fight run. I mean,
Yeah, that's just taking down the Goliath. That's just the four
you
giants right there. I
you
mean,
took
it's
down
really.
2 pound for pounds and Max Holloway.
Hmm.
Like, there's nothing more for you to do.
Excuse me.
And I don't think he's gonna fight forever. The guy's super loaded without MMA. He's got money forever. He's a celebrity. He's gonna be set for life in Spain. He's gonna be set for whatever he decides to do. The guy's just super famous. You can tell he's intelligent. I just don't think he's gonna fight forever. He's only 28 and he's already done all this. If he can go out there and finish Charles Oliveira, sky's the limit. I just it does kill divisions when you let guys consistently move up, or you just let people keep challenging for these extra titles. And when you kill these or
Yep.
when you let them move up, the next guy that takes the place, there's so much doubt on that man. There's so much, oh yeah, he's the champ because this person moved up. When Charles won the belt, it's he's the champ because Khabib retired. When anytime someone wins an interim or a vacant belt, that's the narrative. So
Like new recent, Palm Aspinall takes the
the
heavyweight belt. John Jones retires, so
I,
he's now the heavyweight carrier.
it killed the
So
division. So yes, it's a little bit of a different scenario because everybody I feel like recognizes Tom as the man. They were all screaming fight Tom for John. So I think it's a slightly different scenario there, but the same result ends up. You end up with a dead
yeah,
division where heavyweight looks terrible. John came in, mopped the floor with Cyril Gahn, and then fights old Stipe Miocic. But when he mopped the floor with Cyril Gahn, Cyril was the number one heavyweight in the world at that point. So it's not like he's fighting a nobody. It's just he showed there's levels to it, and then it makes it look like, oh, well, heavyweight actually sucks. And lately it's looked like that. Heavyweight actually sucks. All the fights are going to overs. Ever since USADA stepped in and all these guys had to stop juicing, you saw a steady downfall. We need juiced heavyweights in the sport. Leon, what is up? How's it going, my guy? Welcome back. We missed you. Cody's been asking about you every chat. Leon must. But, yeah, so we're on the same page there. So, before we get into the Charles talk, that leads me to, if Ilya loses, where's he go from here? Does he drop back down to featherweight? He said he hates the weight cut. Or does he stay at lightweight and just be one of the guys and try to work his way back to a title fight? Because if he loses, that eliminates all the mystique, all the talk he's been given. all the glamour he's been getting from everybody talking about him, all the media heads, all the guys in the UFC. It's just, if he loses, where does Ilya go from here, Cody?
Sorry, I'm replying to Leon. Um, I think for him, I think he stays at 155. Honestly, I mean, I don't see a point for him to drop down to 145. It's kind of clogged ish. I feel like for him, it's just best for him to maybe step back, maybe go challenge somebody else. Maybe just take a 3 month off and refight Oliveira again if Oliveira wants to fight again. Because I know Oliveira is
Well, you're not going to give
35.
him an immediate rematch, though.
I mean,
Because you got Sarukian waiting in the wings, who's already got a victory over Oliveira, no matter how controversial it was. A lot of people, it could have gone either way. It's not like it was a robbery. It's just people had it for Oliveira, people had it for Sarukian. And then you also have Gaethje, who's begging for a title shot. You got Paddy Pimblett, who's moving up. So you can't give Ilya an immediate rematch after he only has one other win at 155 if he loses this fight to Charles, because then his only win is against the guy in Jai Herbert who had been cut from the UFC. And yeah, so you can't give him a rematch. In Leon, there is no rematch clause. UFC doesn't do that. Sometimes they'll promise a rematch to champs that lose their belt, but Ilya's moving up to challenge for a new belt, so he's not defending. And
right.
so if he loses this, do you give him a Gaethje fight? Gaethje said he's retiring if he doesn't get a title fight next. I think what you do, and this just came to me, I didn't even think about this before for some reason, but I think what you do, you give him Paddy Pimblett. There's beef there. Paddy still needs one more before he gets to the title. If Ilya loses, that fight fucking sells. That's a co-main event on any pay-per-view.
You doing that at lightweight?
Yeah, you're doing it at lightweight. Paddy can't make 145. Paddy's going for a belt at 155.
No, he gets fat.
Yeah, Paddy's going for a belt at 155. So if he can beat Ilya, he's getting a title shot. And if Ilya beats Paddy, then that moves him into a fight against a Tsarukian or a Gamrot or anybody in the top 5. One more fight, you beat Paddy, you're one fight away from a title shot. So that's what I think you do with Ilya if he loses. That would be an amazing fight, wouldn't it? I mean, that's what we want to see if Ilya wins. We want to see Paddy win one more, and then that's the fight to make. Do it in Spain, in a stadium. Sorry, I'm replying to Leon's chat. Leon said that would be a fire fight. But do it in Spain, in a stadium. Both guys have a huge following in Europe. That would sell out. That fight bangs. That fight slaps. It's perfect. That would be a fire fight. So, we already got to the Ilya talk. Do you have anything else to say before I move on? I'm not trying to cut you off or to dismiss anything you're saying, because I don't want to do that.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think you nailed it on the head. Honestly, it's a banger idea to have him go up to 165 and fight Paddy. You feel win or lose, honestly.
Yeah, and Leon just said he likes Charles, but he thinks Ilya wins hands down. I think Ilya's got all the tools to do it. Leon, the only thing that makes me put it on hold is Ilya can't defend head kicks very well. Charles is built just like Jai Herbert. Charles bangs, he moves forward. Charles can get you on the ground. He can submit you. I know Ilya has great submissions. And the size difference. How's Ilya going to look going against a legit lightweight? A guy like Oliveira who's filled out, who really has to cut to get to 155. Jai Herbert's not cutting that big to get to 155. But Ilya should win the fight just based on metrics, based on what he's done to all our favorites. But Charles, upset king, dude. Nobody ever expects this guy to do it, and he does it. And Danger Mouse, how's it going? Welcome from Europe. We were just talking about how great of a fight it would be to have Ilya, if Ilya loses this fight somehow, to have him and Paddy in a stadium in Spain, or if Ilya wins in a stadium in Spain. What a fight that would be. Sells out, bangs, slaps. But we want to talk about Charles Oliveira now. So, win or loss, does this do anything to Charles Oliveira's legacy? Because for me, I think a win kind of puts him in the top 3 GOAT conversation for 155. Top 3, top 4. You have Islam, Habib, you have BJ Penn and Charles Oliveira. Now, while McGregor did what he did, he didn't have the longevity at 155, so I'm not going to count
Hmm.
him. But you look at those guys, and if Charles Oliveira gets the title back, yes, it'll be the third time he's won a vacant title or third time he's fought for a vacant title. But if he can get the title back, do you say this is the guy? This is the GOAT, even though he lost to Islam. I don't think you put him over Islam. And I really think a loss does absolutely nothing to diminish his legacy. So it's a win-win for Charles here. But how do you think it? Like, are you on the same page for me as me, or does a win do nothing? And it's just kind of like Charles is already cemented as the number 4. Because I already have him cemented as the number 4. I think him and BJ could be a toss-up. BJ revolutionary for the time, but and I don't like to look at the end of his career. I just like to look at the prime. BJ was phenomenal. Charles in his prime was unbelievable to watch. The way he attacked, the way he got beat down, got back up, kept attacking, submit you, knock you out, beats the shit out of everybody and anybody stepping up. But do you have any different thoughts on that?
No, you nailed it on the head with the if he loses, because if he loses, I mean, the sports books and everyone else is already expecting him to come in and lose this fight. Um, but if he wins, though, yeah, I think this cements his legacy even more. I think this cements it as one of the top 155ers of all time. Um, I think it definitely puts him top five. I don't really know how I'd adjust my list. I think all the names you made, I think you can put them in any order, really, just based on your argument alone of how you want to go at it, you know? But I think, yeah, for sure, if he walks away with another title win at 155, he definitely is for sure in the GOAT status. But if he loses, I mean, he gave it another shot. I mean, that's all really is for him, you know? But yeah, because he's not expected to win this fight by the odds and by most people and by the experts and things like that. So
But he
it's
also
it's
wasn't expected to win the Tapuria fight, and while he was favored in the Gaethje fight, people didn't expect him to win that. He just pulls shit out of the hat, does the damn
hmm
thing. Now Leon brings up something cool. I've always loved this about Charles. He went from quitter mentality to champ mentality and changed his legacy real quick. Absolutely did. Dude used to fold under pressure, used to get beat up, hurt a little bit, and just give up in fights. Tap to strikes, tap to whatever, injuries. Now, guy goes out there, goes to war, just fights to fight, and you love to see it. So, Charles Oliveira, he's the man. But we've spent enough time talking the main event, right? Have we talked the main event enough? Now we're going to move on to the co-main. Another title fight, baby. We got Alejandro Pantoja. He's taking... Oh, Ilya. If Ilya loses, sorry. Before we get into that, Leon asked, what happens if Ilya loses? Who would he fight next? Ilya's fighting Patty next, no matter what. We got to give it to him. That's my thought. You know, it's beef. That fight sells. Co-main event if he loses. Main event if he wins. So it's a win-win for the UFC. No bad outcome. If Charles wins, you rematch Sarukian, you rematch Gaethje, whatever. But yeah, Ilya loses, have him fight Patty. Beautiful fight. No, because he said not Justin. Not Justin.
I got the chat up.
Okay, yeah. Not Justin because Justin said he will not fight another fight unless it's a title fight or else he's retiring. So, kind of pulling some diva shit. Whatever. You got to beat a couple more. You know, you've had your crack. We've got to move the next guys in. But Alejandro Pantoja defending his belt for the 4th time against Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France, dude's a dog. He hits hard. Pantoja, though, he's a warrior. We got minus 250 on the odds for Pantoja, plus 200 for Kara France. And I want to know how you see this fight going down, Cody.
I wish these were the odds for the main event, honestly, because that's what I feel like the odds should have been. For me personally, Pantoja comes in just with the physical disadvantages, with the 1 inch height and 1.5 inch reach disadvantages, both coming out with physical, offensive outputs basically. Almost at the same point with Pantoja at 54% accuracy and France at 44% accuracy. Both are around 4.4 to 4.56 strikes a minute. Pantoja likes to take you to the ground though more. He's very, very active on the ground. He's very, very I'm gonna wear you down kind of boring style fighter, but also at the same time he can also beat you the fuck down
Yeah,
while he's on the ground with you.
yeah,
He's
like
just he's a very interesting fighter, you know?
I don't like the word boring for Pantoja because he'll take you down, but he'll beat you up and wear on you. And when it comes to the striking, he'll let you strike with him just to wear you out, and he'll crack with you. He's got some striking. So
Hmm.
the boring flyweight gets too much just too much shit for boring, and it's not flyweight. Flyweight smacks, dude. Flyweight's fun as shit. And Pantoja, if you really watch his fights, dude gets beat the shit out of him and still keeps coming forward. So I love the way he fights. And yeah, I'll let you keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just can't stand for the Pantoja boring talk because he really is. But if there was no Demetrius Johnson, he's the flyweight goat. But Demetrius Johnson did what Demetrius Johnson did. But he's
Hmm.
entertaining. He's a zombie. He's fun. He bangs, dude.
Sorry, I was reading something real quick. No, I could see this going honestly either way because KKF uh he has a motor of somebody that's willing to die almost in the octagon. Almost it feels like the dude is just a scrap artist, and he just reminds you of just a street bully. When he's fighting out there, he's an asshole. Um, he's a beast. He's a beast. But he's the thing is he takes a lot of strikes. That's the only thing for me is, and he doesn't really. Hold on here. I'm sorry. I'm reading up more stats on him. Um, he absorbs a lot of strikes, but not as many as Pantoja. That's the thing. But it's still a lot of strikes. 3.22 is a lot of strikes per minute to absorb. And especially from somebody like Pantoja, who's just powerful and precise with him, and he knows where to get you. It can be costly. But like I said, the KKF has a force of a shield of a chin. And I think this one could easily go either way. But for me personally, I think Pantoja's going to win this one, and I feel like he's going to have to move up after winning this one because he's just man clogging the division at this point and just not giving anybody a chance. I
Well,
mean, because
but is it his job to give someone a chance? Like the guy fights at 125 and he's down there beating everybody up at 125. He's not just beating them; he's lapping. He's
yeah,
lapping.
there's just no there. People are having no shot against him, and that's the thing. I mean, it's getting to the point where he's going to start having. He's already had Royval too. Now he could have a KKF two here in the future. He could have a Moreno two. You know, I mean, how many more twos does he need? You know, how many second matchups does he need? I mean, now I think he could have Albazi next, but I don't know if he's going to want to fight him next or move up. That's the only thing.
Well, and Albazi got a bullshit decision win over Cara France, loses to Moreno. So in my mind, he's on a two-fight losing streak. Last win was like 2022. Goodness gracious! But what this comes down to, I don't think it's the strikes. I think it's the heart of Pantoja. The dude's a warrior. He can walk through strikes. Has a legendary chin. Ground game, it's grueling. He's gonna find a submission. He's gonna ground and pound you. And on the feet, if you hurt him, he's like Oliveira. He gets stronger as he gets hurt. So I just I think that Pantoja's got it. And Kai Kara France, you said he takes a lot of shots. Has crazy power, throws with crazy power, has good takedown defense. I don't think it's going to be enough for Pantoja to keep him off the ground. But problem with Cara France, he got stopped with a body shot to Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno threw a beautiful kick to the body, jumped on him, finished the fight. But Pantoja will get inside and rip boxing combos to the body and just pound that liver all night long. I love Pantoja here. I think it's an easy pick. Now KKF absolutely could go out there and get a finish with a one punch knockout, flash knockout, whatever. You know, Pantoja's been through wars. Eventually, the chin cracks for everybody. But it's crazy to me that KKF got the fight, and it's good that he did because Manel Kopp ended up getting hurt in camp. But I thought Kopp deserved this fight more than KKF, even though Kopp had the loss to what's his name? Fuck, Makayev, to Makayev, but lost to Makayev. Other than that, on a huge winning streak, and Makayev was cheating the whole fight. It was a bullshit fight, weird fight. But I thought Kopp deserved it. Glad they gave it to Cara France. I was bitching the whole time until Kopp got hurt. But you look at Cara France's recent record. He's got a win over Steve Burseg, and then prior to that, even though it was a bullshit robbery, lost to Amir Albazi. He lost to Brandon Moreno. So he's 1-2 in his last 3 over Steve Burseg, who challenged for the title. But then you look at what Steve Burseg's done since he's challenged for the title. Lost to Kai Cara France, and he just lost to Brandon Moreno. 2 great fighters, but he's on a 3-fight skid. So is Kai Cara France the most undeserving title challenger? The initial question was of all time, but I'm just going to say of 2025.
So far, yeah. Because when I wrote my answer here, undeserving is a bit of an understatement. I would say no, he's not the most by far. But at 25, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, though, Pantoja has already beaten Steve Urquelle before, though. I mean, are you going to give now a Steve Urquelle Pantoja 2 now?
Well, no, because Steve Urseg's on a 3-fight skid. I guess what I was thinking was you give, yeah, O'Malley's a good call, Danger Mouse on undeserving.
Because Urseg and Pantoja fought not even a little more than a year ago.
Absolutely. But Urseg's on a 3-fight skid now. I'm thinking, you got Moreno, who has lost to Pantoja twice or 3 times, yes. But
Twice, yeah.
Yeah. You have, and he lost to him on The Ultimate Fighter. Kai Cara France also lost to Pantoja on The Ultimate Fighter. That was about 12 or
12
or
now Cops lost to him.
Yeah, Cops lost to him, but that was his UFC
Royval's
debut.
lost to him.
UFC, everybody's lost to him.
What about Tatsuro Tairo? I mean,
Tatsuro is coming off a loss to Brandon Royval, though. Royval just recently lost to Pantoja. You got Josh Van there. I just thought that you should have given the opportunity to Manel Kopp because of what Manel Kopp's done, because of the entertainment factor that Manel Kopp brings, because how entertaining his striking is, because if he's a champ, he's an entertaining champ. He's a champ that people are tuning in to see. And if he's not a champ, he's at least selling the fight. Dude's got beef with everybody. So you give Kopp the fight. You build on stars. His name is fucking Starboy. You build on stars, brother. And I'm not telling that to you. I'm telling that to the UFC. But we'll move on. We're both on the same page, though. Undeserving title challenger, KKF. I mean, 1-2 in your last 3. Your 1 is against a guy that's 0-3 in his last 3. So I'm not going for it. But Danger Mouse did make a great call. He says O'Malley. O'Malley is an undeserving title challenger. But when you look at it, at least O'Malley was a champion. At least O'Malley had the championship. Kai Cara France, what has he done to deserve a title?
Yeah, O'Malley is still ranked number 1 in his division.
Yeah,
KKF
rankings mean nothing, though. Because he shouldn't be number 1. I think it should be Umar Corey Piotr Suga is what I think it should be at 135. And then obviously champ on top with Merab. But yeah, so before we move on to the next fight, though, we were talking Pantoja. He's cleared out his division. Josh Van, he's fighting in the next fight that we'll talk about in just a second. If Pantoja wins, people have been calling for him to move up to 135, but he doesn't necessarily seem too compelled by it. He says he will if the opportunity comes, but he's not clamoring for it. If Pantoja wins, do you want to see him move up to 135 to challenge Merab Dvalishvili for the 135 belt? Go for greatness? Yes, that's what you're going for. Or do you want to see him keep trying to go for greatness? He's not going to beat DJ just by the age, I would imagine. He's already 35. So I don't think he beats DJ's record at 125, but he could definitely cement himself as a number 2 at flyweight. And I think he's already done that. Him or Brandon Moreno toss up, but he has all the wins against Brandon Moreno. So what do you want to see? You said you want to see the double champ fight for Pantoja next?
Yeah, so for me, I think if Pantoja wins, I think he should step up just because I know that he wants to go for a record. But at the same time, this would be now 5 title defenses. 4 title defenses, 5 title wins. At 125. And for me, I guess this is just a personal feeling for me. I know it's as much dominant. Well, as dominant as it sounds and as it looks, I personally think it's kind of weak to sit here and dominate the division like the way he is, where you're having the Moreno twos, you want to have a Cop two now. Eventually, we're gonna have a. I'm sorry, let me pull this right back up. You've already had a Royval two. You've had a Moreno two. Eventually, you're gonna have a Cop two. I think because him and Cop are gonna eventually fight if he stays at 125. Because I think then if Royval loses to Van, you give Van the title shot then.
Yeah, you do because you strike while the iron's hot, and
Understandable. But also Cop's hot too.
Cop is hot, but Cop just he's his own worst enemy. And
Do you give Cop and Van their shot? Then the winner of that gets him?
listen, if you don't do Cop or if you don't do Van versus Pantoja next, if Van gets the win, you do Cop versus Van, no matter what. What a scrap. That fight bangs. That fight fucks. That fight
Right.
fucks. So, I want to get to this though. Leon says, "Go for greatness or go home." Absolutely, go for greatness or go home. I love the strive for greatness. I don't love when we have double champ fights though, when there's fights to be made. And while Pantoja's cleared it out, it seems like this new up and coming division's coming in with the Joshua Vans and Tatsuro Taira. Although he lost to Royval, he can get a win against Albazi and be next up. It's just I like to see it move up, and I don't want to see Pantoja move up necessarily because it kills the division, and because there are these guys coming up that we need to see them take it from the old dogs so that they have legitimacy, so they don't win these vacant titles and it's like, yeah, this division just fucking around with all these fucking piece of shit fighters that are no good type of thing. Goodness gracious. But yeah,
You all right there, bub?
yeah, I'm good. But so I don't hate the move up. Also, I would love to see him fight. But if he's gonna fight for the double champ status, then I want to see him defend both belts. I want to see him be a true double champ. Wins the 135, goes back to 125, defends, and then goes back up to 135.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? There's nothing wrong with that.
I
But
just I don't
but
want
at
to see
age
him.
35, I just don't know how much time he has left to do that.
Well, and yes, but when you move up at an older age, it kind of works in your benefit because you're not killing your body to. And Pantoja, you're not killing your body to make weight, but also Pantoja just seems to be looking better with age. I know everybody kind of falls off at 35, and that's where he's at now. Kai Kara France 32, but Kai Kara France been in the game just as long as Pantoja, so they both have just as many miles.
Little nicotine, Leon. Little nicotine.
Can I have a Zen? Sorry, I was. But yes, so we were talking Pantoja. We kind of transitioned into this Joshua Van fight, and I'll let you kick this one off too, Cody. Joshua Van, Brandon Royval. How's this fight going down, my friend?
Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. I think this one is going to be very close, just like how the odds makers have it. Now, Van has the height and reach disadvantages here. Royval has a 4-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. But Van comes out with the offensive output that is just, when you see that, you know.
He has a record
You know
for
it's
the
a-
highest output in UFC history.
It's unheard of. I mean, when you see anything over a 7 per minute, that just knows. And it's not even that. He lands at a 60% rate. That's insane. I mean, just to show how much accuracy he has at such a high output is pure insanity. And then he takes you down maybe once per 15 minutes. What are you doing?
Rachel took my beer.
But he averages about a takedown per fight. But he's coming in on a 4-fight win streak, and he's hot, and he's got all the momentum in the world. Now, granted, Royval's got the physical attributes coming in with the advantages, and he's got a nice output at 4.46, but he's at 50% right on the dot, and he's coming in on a 2-fight win streak himself, following that Pantoja loss. But I think, for me personally, I think I'm going to take Joshua Van in this one, coming in at minus 120. I think or you can get him at maybe minus 110 at some sports books, depending on where you're at. But for me personally,
I'm
though,
waiting on
I
a
just
shot
think
of
with
the
I think with
fridge or
the
freezer.
offensive output that you're going to see
You
from
just
Van,
thaw it with
and
this.
and just the absolute warrior that he is, you're going to see this fight. You're not going to see this go the distance. Personally, if you're asking me, in 3 rounds, I see Joshua Van ending this maybe mid second round, early third round, after Royval just barely escapes the second round. Dude, to be honest with you, this dude's a freaking warrior. He's going to get in close to you. He's got great tactic, and he's got great kicks too as well. So he can definitely just do it with the best of them. And like you said, he's one of them up and comers that's going to come up into the flyweight division, and he's going to wreak some havoc. And he's definitely going to he's going to be taking some heads and just taking some names.
Yes. So Josh Van, outstanding. 23 years old. Leon saying he doesn't know much about these guys. Well, buddy, flyweight's the most entertaining division if you just watch the fights, even though everybody's kind of the same. It's super entertaining. And Josh Van scraps. Dude has great boxing. As Cody said, great kicks. He has really good low kicks. Coming off of a TKO over Bruno Silva at UFC 316. Great fight. Looked amazing. Kept up his 8 strikes per minute stat. Dude looked amazing. But problem is he's going up against Raw Dog Royval. Beat Brandon Moreno, put up a good fight against Pantoja, and then you look at what he did against Tatsuro Taira. Now, Josh Van has phenomenal takedown defense. And Brandon Royval, his game is to get you on the ground, take your back. But Brandon Royval is not going to try to get him down in this one. Exactly. Danger Mouse has it right. Too much too soon for Josh Van. And that's absolutely what it is. Because what's going to happen is they're going to go up against the cage, and Josh Van is going to have his back taken by Royval, and Royval is going to do what Patchy Mix did in Bellator and take his back, get a rear naked choke like an anaconda that he is. So, Josh Van, great fighter, and this fight doesn't set him back if he loses to Royval. He's going to put up a great fight, and it's going to be a good matchup, but a month off, I don't think that's the problem, being 23 years old. I think that the problem is just the experience level of Royval. Royval is going to take it into his world. He knows he shouldn't be striking with Josh Van the entire fight. He'll strike with him a little bit. He's going to go for the takedowns. And, yeah, it's going to be Royval for submission. And Leon asks, are they both well-rounded? Yes, in the sense that Josh Van can defend the round game against the guys he's fought so far, but he hasn't fought a guy like Royval. Royval is very good on the feet, not as good as Josh Van, but he's phenomenal on the ground offensively. He has been submitted before, so he's kind of like Charles Oliveira. Danger Mouse will know what I'm talking about. Old Man Dave calls it the BJJ glass chin. So you have great BJJ offense, terrible submission defense. So,
Yeah, Royval has terrible defense, 47% strike defense and a 45% takedown defense.
well, I'm just talking about the submission defense. So,
Oh, I mean, even at that, if his ground defense is not that great, you already know that his submission defense is terrible as well.
he's only been submitted one time, but yeah, BJJ Glasscan, he has been submitted. That's his go-to. I do think it's going to be a 50-50 fight, though. I think that if Josh Van can implement his jab and just be like, hey, we are not going to the ground and stop the takedowns and push Brandon Royval off, because Josh Van's going to be a lot more physical here. I think that Josh Van can do the boxing thing and fuck him up. Do the damn thing. But if Royval can take his back, I think that's it. I think if Royval gets the back, it's over. Hey, baby.
It's fine.
Do it under the sink if you could. Hot water. But, yes. I think that 50-50 fight, it could be. I just think that, I think Royval, like you said, experience is going to get it. So, that brings us to a fun fight. I don't know how this is going. I think it's a wash. We got Renato Moicano taking on... This is hot as shit. Sorry, wife just handed me a shot of some Pink Whitney, and it is like scalding hot. Renato Moicano versus Beneil Dariush. I think this is a fight that's a wash in every single spot. Striking, both guys have different striking, but I don't think either's better than the other. On the ground, both are dangerous. How do you see this fight going down, Cody? I'm going to take my shot while you give your shit.
For me personally, I definitely don't see this one going the distance. Dariush has the 1 inch height disadvantage, but they're both like kind of striking warriors, and they kind of like to go to the ground. I don't really know too much about Dariush. I know a lot about Money Moicano, and I know Money Moicano has had a good track record. He lost to Islam. Islam's a tough ass fighter, so you can't really blame him too much. You can't really hold up much against him. But for me personally, I think Moicano's going to come out and win this one. I think by a TKO, maybe. I personally think it's going to be early second round, maybe late first round. I think he's going to come out and I think he's going to land early. Dariush has a good chin. He's got a great takedown defense and everything in between. But I don't know, man. I just have I had a vision just when I was prepping this fight, and I just have a feeling that Moicano is going to walk away with this one pretty convincingly, honestly. Even based on what the odds are making it out to be.
Yeah,
what do they have? The odds have it out to be what right now? Shit.
It's pretty much a pick'em. It's
110 each.
Yeah, so it is a pick'em now. But yeah, this fight, I think it bangs, and I don't know what's gonna happen with it, but I think that Beneil. I will disagree with you here. I don't think that his chin is as good as you think it is, but I think that stream's lagging a little bit. I see that. How do we fix that? Let me hop my phone off the Wi-Fi. See if that.
You're good right now.
I don't know. I'm looking at the YouTube stream. It looks a little fucked.
Your sound would fuck.
Oh, it's pretty laggy.
Yeah. Pretty laggy. Hang on a second. Can you get off the Wi-Fi and see if that fixes it? You can hear us fine, so that's what matters.
Yes.
But, yes, Moicano Dariush. I think his chin is cracked. He has been knocked out in previous fights. I don't think Moicano has a great power advantage over Dariush. I think Dariush has super power in his hands, so I think he's got a great shot here. And I think that his top control is great. Now, I think that if he gets top control, he's going to get the win. I think if he can implement his takedowns, he's going to get the win in a boring fashion because both guys are great jiu-jitsu practitioners. So they are going to it's going to be one of those things where we're just going to see Dariush on top and not be able to find a submission, but he has domination. Now, if it goes to finish, though, I think that Moicano's got it. And Leon's right there with me. He says Moicano's got it. Moicano's a much more violent fighter. He's going out to hurt you. He's going out to get bonuses because he's Money Moicano. He's going for the money. Yeah, he's coming off a loss, but it's to Islam Makhachev. Before that, he's on a great winning streak. His only loss in that streak is against RDA. So no dog in him there. Yeah, I mean, Moicano said himself Beneil's the more powerful puncher. Good call, DM, Danger Mouse. But, yeah, oh, shit. I almost hit you. Okay. I think that undid it. Yeah, I accidentally hid you. I'm sorry, DM. I hope it unhids.
Yeah, Danger Mouse was unhidden.
Okay. Yeah. Islam is a tough son of a bitch, and that's a tough fight for anybody, and he finishes him in the first round, but he finishes most people in the first round. And, yeah, I like Dariush here. Something's telling me Dariush is getting it done, but I would not be surprised if Moicano somehow gets top control and ends up reigning ground and pound, finishes the fight early. And, like I said, Dariush's chin is not all there, so we'll have to see how the fight turns out, but I like Dariush. I think that his control, his fight IQ is going to be there. And then that brings us to the curtain jerker of the evening. Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima. Peyton Talbot's coming off of his first career loss, pretty embarrassing loss to Raoni Barcelos after he was undefeated, one of the biggest favorites in UFC history before Jacoby Smith ended up as a minus 4,000 favorite. Goodness gracious. But regardless of all that, Peyton Talbot's taking on Felipe Lima. He is now a dog. Felipe Lima, up and comer, 14 fight win streak. He's 14-1 overall, undefeated in the UFC. How's this fight going down, Cody? How do you see it?
For me personally, I like Felipe Lima to take this by decision. Now, granted, he's Talbot's got the one loss, even though he was a touted 9-0 undefeated fighter before that embarrassing loss last time. Let's be honest. But I mean, let's be honest here also. Felipe Lima is no joke. He can strike with the best of you. He also has great. I mean, he doesn't have the output as Talbot does with 6.63 strikes per minute, but also he has great takedown defense coming in on the 14 fight win streak. He's undefeated in the UFC. That's what also is what you said. But for me, I just like Lima to come out. He's got the chin to be able to hold this in. He's got great speed. He's got great tactics. Let me look up more of his stuff here real quick. I didn't want to give too much away as I'm talking about this. He's also a really good submission artist as well. I completely forgot about that. The dude can, if he gets you to the ground, if he can get you to full guard or just wrap you around, he can get a rear naked choke on you. If he gets to the back, he's insane. His very first fight was against Nemov, and was a submission against him on against Fight Night with the Whitaker versus Aliskerov.
Aliskerov, yeah, but
Aliskerov back, yeah, literally a month ago. No, a year ago. Jeez Louise.
Felipe Lima is a dog. Felipe Lima, he's what everybody thought Peyton Talbot was going to be. And Peyton Talbot has great movement. He's a flow fighter. He wants to strike, but the book has been written on him. Raoni Barcelos showed how to beat him. He doesn't know how to get up off his back. So if you get him on his back, he's done for. And if Felipe Lima gets him there, while he might not go for a submission, he's going to ground and pound you into the dirt. Felipe Lima is just so well-rounded. I think he's so much better than Talbot here. Bad matchup for Talbot. It's like the UFC saw that he's dating Frank Ocean. They're like, hey, we don't want gay fighters. We'll let you fight on Pride Month, but you're not going to beat Felipe Lima. So, while it's not guaranteed or confirmed that he's dating Frank Ocean, what are they doing hanging out so much unless they are, right? And Peyton Talbot's a weird dude, and he, nobody asked him, but he makes it a point to not mention what his sexuality is, so it's almost like he's trying to allude to something that nobody's really wondering about. But UFC, with their political stance, with their fan base and how they carry themselves anymore, it's like they're giving him a terrible matchup in this fight. So I just think that yeah, news to you, Leon. It was crazy. I thought Peyton Talbot was just a dude that was just trying to be a weird spirit, and then ends up posting all this stuff with Frank Ocean. Whatever, do your thing, hang out, live your life. But UFC obviously has their ties on one side of the political parties, one side of views and oppositions and whatnots. They're catering to who they cater to, and that's okay. They do their thing. And that's okay for Peyton Talbot. Do your thing. But yeah, Felipe Lima getting this win. Submission by first.
Leon, you're wild.
Yeah, Leon. But we finished up with the main card breakdown, so that brings us to our bets. You're still kicking my ass, Cody. I was coming back and then I had a bad week last week. So give me your bets this week and how we breaking that 1,000 up. You're up 38 units and some change right now. How we breaking it up?
We're going to do 3 parlays this week.
Okay.
And they're going to be fun. They're different. And they're all going to be on FanDuel. So these are all FanDuel props, everything like that. So Parlay 1, I have Lima by decision, Dariush Moicano to not go the distance. And then the one is, how will this fight finish for Royval and Van? I said points. I see this one going the distance. So that parlay gives me, it's plus 459 odds.
What are you putting on it?
350.
Okay.
Brings back a total of 1,958.
Wow. All right.
Parlay 2, it's a prelim parlay. Love this one here. I think you will too. Tracy Cortez by points. Terrence McKinney money line. And then RoboCop by, this is a double chance on FanDuel they offer. So it's by points or by KO TKO.
All right. How
And
much?
that parlay is plus 277 odds. 350 brings me back $1,320.
Okay.
And then this one's a little round prop parlay. Taporia and Oliveira to start round 3. Royval and Van to start round 3.
Okay.
Pantoja and KKF to start round 4. That's the fun one there.
Okay.
It's a plus 326. 300 brings back 1,280.
326 was the odds.
Yeah, and 300 brings back 1,280. And I never added those up. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
I got you. So
1958.
1600 so 2600 plus 1958 is 24,600 minus.
It'd be like
42.
4,600.
It's 4558. But yeah, I love the call, Danger Mouse. Lima gonna make another hole in his soul because the ugly tat that Peyton Talbot likes to rep. So my bets that I got for you, I'm not actually super confident, but we're throwing them at you anyways. We still got, if I lose them all, I'm still up a unit. If I hit some, I'm good. So I got 200. Hyder Emil at plus 130 gives us 460 back. 200 on Royval and Pantoja as a parlay gives us 557.75 back.
Okay.
200 on Oliveira because you ride with your dogs. I ride with Holland. He wins me money. I'm riding with my dogs in Oliveira. He's my dogs. So 200 on him brings us 880 back. And then I got 200 on Jonata Deniz and Hines to go over 1.5 at minus 110. Brings me back 381.50. And then I got a long shot here. I got Terrence McKinney, who never goes long, and Vyacheslav Borishev also never goes long. Got it at over 1.5 plus 180. That gives us back 200, gives us 560. So don't love my bets, but we ride.
I like them though.
Had to
They're
find
solid.
something, right? So that's our bets. That's what we got for you for UFC 317. But we got some fight announcements for you. So Kevin Holland, he has his 4th fight of the year announced. It's going to be on UFC 318, the Dustin Poirier card. He's taking on Daniel Rodriguez. They were supposed to fight the night that he fought Hamzat Chimaev. Kevin Holland did, but things happened. You know, he stepped in last minute and did the damn thing. We also have Jean Silva versus Diego Lopez. Main event of UFC Noche, September 20th in San Antonio. And UFC just dropped the fucking ball on this one. Dropped the ball. You know, they had the Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez fight. There's beef. It's the perfect main event for Noche. They didn't do it. What the hell? But Jean Silva, great fight. It's going to be a great fight. I think I favor Lopez in that when I think about it. But we'll have to see how the fight goes down. And then we also had number one contender fight at 185 after Hamzat Chimaev and DDP fight. It's going to be Nasruddin Imavov taking on Caio Borralho in a number one contender fight at UFC Paris. So, what a matchup that is. And, yeah, going with Pantera. Oh, with, you talking about Jean Silva? I'm lost. I might have one of their nicknames and not know it. But, Cody, what do you think of UFC Noche? We talked about it. Oh, Yair? Yeah, Yair should have gotten that fight. And Leon's saying he's going with Pantera, Yair. Yair should have gotten that fight. That should have been the fight. Yair versus Diego. There's heat. There's beef. Same weight class. Both guys at the top of the division. If Yair gets a win, he gets the title shot. Diego gets the win. He's right there back in it. But instead, UFC goes with Jean Silva because Yair is saying he doesn't want to fight Diego Lopez. He'd fight him in the streets, but he's not fighting him. What is Yair doing? The beef is there. The fight's there. Are you scared of him or what? Because it's UFC Noche. You're letting Diego Lopez headline UFC Noche after all the shit you talked about him and you're not going to be part of it. What are you doing? But what do you think, Cody? Did they drop the ball here? I mean, this fight bangs with Jean Silva and Diego Lopez, but...
Did they drop the ball or did Rodriguez drop the ball?
I think it's Rodriguez and UFC for not pressuring him enough.
Because either way, I'm stoked with this one. I don't care. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a banger fight. I mean, this is your favorite fighter. This is one of my favorite fighters. I think this is one we're gonna be banging for. This is gonna be a fun one, dude, and it's not far away. So like we're in store for a huge one. And I'm excited for what they put on for the prelims and what like that. What the main card's gonna look like.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was just replying to a chat here. But Leon says Lopez talked shit and hurt his feelings. He's right. Yair's like, oh, I don't want to fight you because you disrespect me type of thing. That's why you fight somebody. You don't say, oh, I'm just taking money out of your... I'm just not going to fight you to take money out of your pocket. No, you fight him to shut him up, to say, I'm better than you, and there's nothing else. You finish him, that's the fight. You did the damn thing. But... Well, Leon, this fight is for September. Jean Silva versus Diego Lopez is the September main event.
Yeah, September. It's September 13th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the September main event. So
2 months away.
But Noche is always a fun watch, always a great card. So we move on to just the wrap up news here. Ben Askren, he's doing a lot better. He's on the recovery, but he is finally on the lung transplant list. He needs a lung transplant. That sounds serious. That's rough. Wish him all the best. Ronda Rousey has a biopic coming on Netflix. She's going to have her documentary released. That should be great. Can't wait to see that. Don't have a lot to say about it. The Liver King was arrested in Austin, Texas for making terroristic threats to Joe Rogan. Went down there making videos, and then after he got released, he said, Joe, we don't have to make these videos. We can just fight. It's like, dude, Joe Rogan has no interest in fighting you. You're just thirsting for clout now that your liver king bullshit's all gone. Whatever. That's what I got for the news for you, though. That's really all the news that's going on. Oh, and John Jones, as I said in the last episode, threatening officers. The video's been released. I was going to put the video on here, but it's been played everywhere. If you're watching, you're watching. John Jones pretty much said he could hire people to kill the cop. Is what it is. John Jones does the damn thing. And Leon did bring up something great. Canelo versus Crawford is that same weekend in September. It's the same day now. They're doing it the same day. So that's why UFC moved that fight card, UFC Noche, from being a pay-per-view to being a fight night. Now he's not going to be going head-to-head with Canelo Crawford. That fight's going to bang. The publicity tour, Doesn't have me super hyped. It's whatever there, but fight bangs. I can't wait to see the fight. I'd love to see Terrence Crawford get the damn thing done over Canelo. Unseat
Oh, for sure.
or unseat boxing's golden boy and bring it back to the U.S. But yeah, I think that's all we got for you. Thank you everybody who joined the chat, who contributed here. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Hit us with a like. Make sure you find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. Absolutely right, Leon. Canelo Crawford, gonna be a great fight. But thank you for tuning in. Cody, any signing off words before I let you go?
Everybody have a safe, fun week. Everyone enjoy International Fight Week. We're gonna have a fucking blast, dude. Great fights. 2 title fights this weekend, dude. It's gonna be amazing. Everyone, make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on these videos. Check us out. We got some shorts we're posting out here on YouTube. Make sure you go check those out. We got some new content hopefully coming out. Noah came out with a great idea with this newsroom idea, but we haven't heard much about it. Hopefully we do hear something soon. SOS out for Noah. We're looking out for you, bud. Other than that, everyone stay tuned. We got some more videos coming out soon, baby. 317 this week.
Absolutely. And we got watch along this weekend. My buddy Austin's coming over for it. Cody, if you're down, join the chat. We're going to throw you up on the live stream. We'll just share our pay-per-view on the ESPN login. Watch the whole damn thing. Great fight night. Great cards. Tune in. 9:30 we're going live for that one, just like all our other shows. So, again, thank you everybody that's tuned in. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the support. This is our march to 250 subscribers, and we're going to get there eventually. Appreciate y'all. That's all I got for you. Deuces.